Hi, my name is Steve. I'm billed as one of the most prolific burglars this country's ever had, committing up to 8,000 burglaries a year, amongst many other criminal activities. I was trapped in a very powerful, addictive lifestyle that I was unable to come out of. I spent 25 years of my life in prison. 12 years of that was down in solitary confinement. I had many relationships outside, children, many ways to break that cycle. Probation services, nothing actually worked. I'm now 5.5 years crime-free. I follow a 12-step program. There is a website that you can actually look on, which is www.offenders-anonymous.org.uk. In some of the talks that I do in prisons, which in actual fact astounds most prisoners because they're used to actually having talks on drugs, drink, gangs, violence, all of these kinds of addictions, but none of them have ever addressed their lifestyle addiction. I believe that these guys and women that are in prison that really do want to change their life and are unable to do that because they are trapped in a lifestyle addiction. Yes, they are addressing their drug addiction, their alcohol, their violence. All of these programs are set up in place in prison. They're set up in the community when they're released. But what's not set up is these guys and women coming back into the lifestyle that's actually brought them into that in the first place. Do people come out of their house and actually become heroin addicts, crack cocaine addicts? Do these people actually come out and steal from a car at an early age? Do they get trapped into a lifestyle of stealing from shops? Does this progress on to bigger crimes, burglary, armed robbery, drug dealing? Do they get trapped into that cycle of addiction? As I believe they do. This isn't just coming from me, Steve. This is coming from the people that are serving the sentences. Do the probation service work? I very much doubt it. One, they haven't enough staff. Do they relate to these people? No, I don't believe they do relate. How do you actually help somebody come out of a cycle of crime? How do you help an alcoholic? An alcoholic helps an alcoholic. A drug addict helps a drug addict. Somebody that's trapped in a lifestyle of crime that would lead them into that addiction needs to be the people that are helping them. I go into many schools and many colleges talking of this. Feedback, mostly they say that it's the most informative talk that they've ever had in the colleges and the schools. None of them were aware that crime was an addiction. It's opened their eyes. I believe that the government need to address this problem. They need people like myself, and there's many people like myself, to set up programs in prison, to set up in the community 12-step programs. 2 years ago, I'm in touch with an organisation in Canada. 2 years ago, two guys who have spent half their life in prison for many crimes, were drug addicts, were alcoholics, were drug dealers, armed robbers. Every program that they addressed had failed. So these two guys sat in a room and tried to address their lifestyle. This was called CIA, Crime Addiction Anonymous. Now they have 523 people a week attending 3 meetings. Now this is working. It actually is working. We're not addressing this over here. For some unknown reason, we just don't want to address crime as an addictive lifestyle. Recently, I attended a young offenders institution. I talked to 2 boys. Both were in for burglary. Both actually professed a love for the crime they've committed. That love means that they're going to actually go back to that lifestyle when they come out. The person I was with said that they was in total disbelief that somebody like myself in 5 minutes could open up the love to the crimes that these 2 people were committing. But most of all, that these 2 boys wanted, after a 5-minute talk, to address their lifestyle and come out of it and stop. Unable to do that. Why? Because the governor of that actual institution would no longer let me back in there. They wanted to set that program up. I believe that we need an awareness that students in colleges, the schools and education, I'm going to quote a question that I actually posed in my last talk to 180 students. I'm not here to criticise the council programmes or what the police bring in. I don't know what they bring in, so I can't criticise them. A voice from the back said, I tell you what they do, they put a poster up, they hand some posters out, and they go. If this is the education that some of the youngsters are getting in colleges and schools, then I'm sorry, but it's failing and it's a waste of taxpayers' money. I believe that more people like myself should be used in the prison system, in the communities, in schools and education. And I leave that to you. Any comments that you've got, I would gladly reply to. I believe that crime is getting out of reach of all organisations. I believe that nobody is in touch with what's going on. We go on statistics, the criteria burglary is up, we're pouring more money into this programme. It's not working. People like me do work, so why not give me a chance? Thank you, and I hope to hear from you. And you can email me at steve_cattell@yahoo.co.uk.